feel like I need. Hey everybody that's tuning in. This is the post live stream show. If you're tuning in here, I'm going to try and change. Ooh. Oh, that's a little better. I have some wacky makeup on, so it's making me look really washed out. So if you're tuning in, my name's Noelle. I am the host of Creepy Confidential. Just finished up with Creepy Confidential After Dark over on the YouTube channel. Creepyconfidential.com will take you there. Tonight's guest, we were talking to Leslie and Stephen Shaw, which was a lot of fun. And we talked about their book, which I'll show you here in just a second. I'm going to try and see if more people would like to wander in. I think I'm going to turn on some tunage just to kind of chill post-show, see if anybody wants to come in here and chit-chat with me. If anybody wants to talk about aliens, that would be fun to talk about aliens. And always says we're notifying viewers. I don't really believe that they notify the viewers because, I mean, we have over 1,200 here, but it would be great to see you guys and to talk about aliens post-show. I think I might take these off. You guys ever get a headache from your glasses? Oh yeah, come on in. Come chit-chat with me. I have those little lines. Really informal stream tonight. Let's see if anybody else wants to wander in here. No, nobody so far. Listen to some Watsky. Oh, and of course it plays it in my ears. We're going to turn the Bluetooth off. There. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's fun. Need some tunage. So we kicked off tonight. We kicked off the 2025 After Dark season, which is a lot of fun. It's that's my cat. We get a chance to bring on a guest. Today I got to talk to these guys, Leslie and Stephen Shaw. We talked about their book, about what they believe when it comes to aliens and encounters that they've had with aliens. So it was an interesting live stream. If you'd like to watch it, creepyconfidential.com. That's the website for the podcast. That's always a quick way to get a hold of all of the creepy content that we put out. I'm wearing my merch today. It says a little "Sup Creeps." You can get this at creepyconfidential.com as well. And we were just having a good old time. Try to do about an hour and a half or so with guests. Kind of gives them a chance to introduce themselves, and then also a chance for us to ask questions about anything. So we talked about, I have my questionnaire here so we can talk about that. And let's see, I'm going to try and get my thing to connect here to the actual. This would be fun. I see that people are coming in. If you guys are here, if you can tap the heart so that I know you're here, that would be great. Just so that I know that you're hanging around. Because we're still building our podcast here. It always says unstable connection. Just gonna try and. There we go. I have you back. Yay! So I got to do my interview questions, which was a lot of fun. We talked about their book. That was weird. Felt like I had a light flicker behind me. It's the aliens. They're coming to get me. So my first question that I really wanted to know was kind of what was their first alien encounter. They have tons of experiences when it comes to aliens and things that they had seen. And the Shaws were very different. One of them had seen him as early as 3. He talked about an experience where an alien was jumping on his chest. He knew that it was, they call them cousins. Thank you for the hearts. I saw them pop up. Thank you. Just recounting, talking about the live stream that we just finished with a guest over on our YouTube channel. And so he talked about that. He was 3 years old, had this really weird experience. Thought it was a small creature, cousin. They called them cousins. I call them aliens. And Leslie Shaw said her first alien was she was in her 40s, I believe. So very much, an adult, and kind of briefly talked about her experience. And of course, in the book, I read. They sent me this copy, and they signed it, which was very nice of them. And I read through it, and it had a lot. It was a lot. I was very surprised at all the information. In fact, I think he signed it twice. Oh well. So it was fun to break down all of the information, what they thought, how aliens have changed what they do. They had so many experiences. I was just crazy that 2 people could have that many. So we talked about that. And then one of the first questions I asked was involving Project Blue Book. And Project Blue Book was established essentially to investigate alien activity that started popping up. And the big thing that I wanted to know was there's reports of operatives of Project Blue Book being unable to quiet the squeaky wheel of people that were having experiences in the world. Either they were kept saying, no, this cryptid, it's an alien, talk about Mothman or Flatwoods Monster. There were people that were unalived because they just would not stop talking about it. So that was something that I wanted to know what their thoughts were, and then that if that still happens. And they said yes, they do think that stuff like that happens. I think that we just don't hear about it as much. And now aliens are right out there in the world. They openly, now there is no such thing as aliens don't exist, because we talk about them in the news. We talk about them, those military people that came out, they were whistleblowers and said that yes, aliens exist. So I was curious if they had heard of any cases of people being excommunicated because they were still around. Hey Grayson, thank you for joining. We're talking about the post Creepy Confidential After Dark. We just finished the live stream, just kind of recapping what I talked about their guests. I have the questions, so just that we can bounce them off of everybody, talking about their book, which was very interesting, who they are and what they are up to. So talking about how Project Blue Book, of course, Smokey, I see you. Hi. Coming to visit your sister, and how they have, taken people out because they don't stop talking about a particular encounter. So they didn't have any actual, I'll say, examples in modern day of that happening. But if Project Blue Book is obviously, a really big thing, we have tons and tons of cases over time where they're trying to get to the bottom of these alien encounters. The next one was talking about where are they hiding. So that was one of their chapters. I tried to work through the chapters. It seems like a lot of the other interviews focused on all their encounters, which is they have tons and tons of alien encounters. I wanted to talk about their book. So the next one was where are these aliens, or cousins as they called them. They believe that they're basically cousins of us. And I mentioned in one of the Creepy Confidential episodes, I talk about in Pine Bush in New York, there were people in the 80s and 90s that were physically watching crafts coming in and out of the ground, and they could hear machinery running under the earth, and that there's bases that exist that are military and alien, and they're together. So what kind of show are they running, basically? And I wanted them to answer if they're benevolent or malevolent. And I think they answered in a way where they said they're self-serving. The creatures, the aliens that we're working with, that are helping the military, the aliens are self-serving, but I think also are the humans. We're also self-serving, so they're just trying to probably get something, get something out of it when it comes to what can the military get out of it. So that was something that kind of skirted over it, but didn't really skirt over it. You can't really answer it other than saying that they're self-serving. I think they would do what it takes, aliens-wise, would do whatever they need. And oh, by the way, my earrings, I love these. I don't remember where I got these. Groovy something. They're off of Etsy. They're fantastic. My next question to them was that they talked about all of these civilizations. So the Incan, the Egyptians, the Teotihuacan, the Mayans, there are these civilizations that have existed, and then it's like they just fall off the face of the earth. Like, where did they go? Where are their bodies? I mean, Egyptians, we have their bodies, but and how did they build these huge feats of structures, like the pyramids? And it was basically explained they have these end of the world type of things, like floods. Floods are the big one, and we're wiped out, but that because our humans were underneath the ground, we don't just necessarily all go floof, that it's the aliens that have been here over time, that have been hiding underground, that are helping us build these structures. But then these extinction level events that happen, we basically crush most of our existence out and we have to start all over again. So that was an interesting way of discussing it. And I found, it's like, it makes sense why we're so far behind these aliens, where they have all this technology and things that they can do, and it makes sense when you have a crazy thing like the pyramids. So that was another question. One of the big things they talked about in their book is called Follow the Suppression. That was one of their chapters that they wrote about in their book. It basically is things that we research and, talk about aliens. Everybody suppresses your knowledge on it. They don't want us to know. I think that's how I'm interpreting that. My interest was in giants. What do giants have to do? They mentioned giants, and I really, really wanted to know. I was reading about the giants, and a quote came across where it says, "A race which flourished, lived, and died many centuries ago, and those days told of in Scripture." And they're talking about giants. So the hubby and I had a conversation, and I was like, did they really talk about giants in the Bible? Like, I don't really remember learning about giants in the Bible. It turns out they are talked about in the Bible. And so that's been mentioned in Scripture. And there's a few examples. So I thought that was a wild thing to mention. And then we got into this subject about Nephilim and how, the giants are not good. And it was very interesting to on a new subject for me, because I'm new to researching about giants and trying to figure out, because you hear about them in the news, you see these pictures, like the big, it looks like part of a mountain, the stone mountain, but they show that there's like a potential door in the side of the mountain that was for a giant. I don't have scientific research that's proving that it's a door, but that's what's there. So I was very interested in that. They don't think that giants are necessarily an alien, that they are basically another form of human. So that was like, at some point we've existed because they're bigger, because they're taller, they're warmer, they could exist in colder, maybe subterranean type of situation. So it was kind of a wild thing to think of. So then the other part was, do you think their existence is suppressed in modern day? And I think absolutely. I hadn't heard about oh, hey Cassandra, I hope you're feeling better. I hadn't heard about really giants in the modern day, or you hear randomly, yeah, we dug up a body in the 1800s and there's some random picture, but that was really, think about it, we had these creatures that they would say, and it turned out to be bad taxidermy. So it's really hard to prove when a time when we really were, I think, I don't know if we were just looking for something to be fantastical, or we wanted something to be fantastical because then we have something other than us existing. So that part, but then when you dig up bodies from the eras, well, like the Egyptian, Teotihuacan, Mayan, blah, blah, now all of a sudden you're talking about, that was stones. They were using stones to make buildings, and they still make stones to make buildings, but you know what I mean. That was their tools, stone tools and things like that. So giants are kind of interesting. By the way, whoever may see this, totally random and not related to our interview, my best friend, because I saw Cassandra, got me this, and it says, just a girl who loves horror movies, which is funny because the people that like Cassandra, she knows I'm not crazy into really horror movies, but I love this thing. So it's House of Horrors, and it has Freddy. I always get these confused. Michael. That's Michael Myers. Of course, Leatherface. It's got It. Voorhees. So I love this thing. And it keeps ice. Oh my gosh. All day long. It keeps absolutely cold water. So Cassandra, you need one of these. Who makes this? Hog? But I have a feeling it was someone that makes those really like cool cups and puts the varnishes on them. I have no idea where she got it, but I take it everywhere with me because nobody has one that looks like that. I can't bring it to GhouliCon or it'll walk away. I know somebody will see it. They won't care that it has my germs on it. So sidebar. And then one of the last things, hopefully that TikTok doesn't have a problem with me talking about this because it's a little naughty, is there's stories of aliens having, encounters with humans, and either the human woman becoming pregnant or a male that one of them managed to get hair samples that was like clear, like a polar bear. Or they're doing it with the dude to either just have a good time or to procreate, mix it. I don't know. But I found that was just crazy. Are they trying to have a human bred hybrid situation, or are they just doing it to, see what it's like? I don't know. Like having a good time with those people that are obsessed with having a good time with people that have physical problems or mental problems, or, it's a weird thing to think about, but that was what I asked them about because I was in the book. These are the things that I needed to know. And I really just wanted to know what they thought, if it was like a hybrid thing or if they were just trying to have human babies. Because there's also stories of women that breed with normal human, they are pregnant. They get to like 4 months. I think that seems to be the sweet spot. They're like 4 months. Thank you for the hearts. I just looked up and noticed that we have 125 hearts as I'm just sitting here rambling, telling you guys about the live stream that just happened over on our website. Thank you. It's fantastic. And, or, all of a sudden they make it to 4 months. They go in for an ultrasound again and it's gone. Well, the baby. I know I say it, but the infant that is in there is gone. And not like a miscarriage, like as if the woman was never pregnant, because there would be evidence of a miscarriage. And it's just, I think it's just crazy that what happened, because now they have the ultrasounds that are before the pregnancy, and then, or like in the early stages, and then all of a sudden they go in at 4 months and it's gone. And usually these women, it will happen multiple times. So I don't know if they like them, like maybe this woman has something special about them and they're going to choose that woman to use, as a vessel. That's a good word. Or the woman is abducted, something happens, they find out they're pregnant. 4 months later, they go in to have an ultrasound, and then the baby's gone then too. And they have memories of being abducted finding out they're pregnant, and then like just before the ultrasound. And same thing, baby's gone. So all kinds of weird stuff that happened. I'm just getting into the literature and the studies that have been done, and I feel awful for thinking it, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, it's too crazy to believe that's happening. So I don't know. Hopefully the music isn't bothering you guys too much. I feel like I needed some post live stream tunes. Listen to some Depeche Mode right now. Thank you for whoever's tuning in, by the way. It would be great if you just tap a little heart so that I know that you're there. But I do see that I have some more hearts, so thank you so much. It's very helpful, because then I know, just kind of chit-chatting. I am trying to figure out how, like on here, how you know how long you've been here. How long I've been torturing you guys. But it doesn't matter. I'm still here. So those were my questions from tonight. I'm trying to make it so that the live streams actually have questions, because I worry that you like jump on a live stream. This is of course very informal. You just jump on. I'm just talking. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I just want to talk. Where I have a guest on, like an author, like these guys, and I've had a couple authors on from books that I have that are pertaining to things like cryptids and aliens, and although potentially those two could be the same, they're very similar. We talk about aliens and cryptids, or paranormal. Oh my gosh, I'd love to talk about more paranormal stuff. That's my first love. That's my bread and butter. It seems like everybody wants to know about the paranormal, and I have so much evidence and knowledge from the time that I've been times that I've been doing it and kind of been the gatekeeper with my previous team. So that would be fun. I think I've done one live stream on here. It was paranormal, where we did Post Town Elementary. That's here in Ohio. That place was wild. Not to get off on a tangent on that, but that place was wild. This was a busy week for the Office of Creepy Confidential, also known as me. On Wednesday, I went to the library here, and Mr. James Willis, he's another author. He writes so many books. Oh my gosh. He was doing a class on cryptids in the U.S. cryptids, about a 90-minute class. On the exact same night, that went until 8. Another live stream, What Goes Bump in the Night podcast, was doing a paranormal evidence showcase, and I had submitted evidence for that. So they were going on at 8. So I had to run home. I had everything set up already. I had my lights and everything ready to go so that I could jump on the live stream. And that was a great show. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun. I met via live stream, I met Armand of the Ghost Bros. So if you guys, which their team is fantastic, if you guys are not familiar with the Ghost Bros, I strongly recommend their videos. Are so good. Like, seems like even I was guilty of it back in the day, because it was back in 2009, not to date myself. That was when we started. They're either the videos are janky or the quality's bad. I mean, theirs is like a TV show. They're really, really good. Audio's good, video's good. You can follow what's going on. But I got sidetracked there. So I got to meet Armand. So I shared some evidence from the Starvation Heights investigation. If you have not listened to that episode, that is the Linda Hazard. I believe I put it under Linda Hazard. She is the starvation doctor. I did an episode on that because I had so much information on it. I might as well. So we did an episode. So I shared some of that evidence, and it was where she actually appears in the window. And I have tons of photography from that day to ensure, to prove that what's on the inside, what's on the outside, what's happening throughout the day. There's no one inside, but she lived and died in that house. So it was as she starved patients. So that was quite crazy to see. To be in the house, to see the house, see where she died, have paranormal things happening, and then to have her, you can clearly see it as her face appearing in the window. One that's kind of farther away, that's almost like it develops. I wish we didn't have a lot of video, especially back then, but I could just imagine, seeing it kind of start to come into focus. So we snapped a couple pictures that that contained that. And I shared that over on that live stream. Oh, I see. Bite This by Annie. Oh my gosh. So whoever's in here that sees them, it's a place that's here in Columbus. Baked goods, snacks, but it is right up the alleyway of, if you guys know me, it is not your local Pink Princess. No, it is kind of a place that I would like to go. Good music playing. I tried their brownies. And it's not like, magical brownies. They're good regular ones. I'm sure you could get that around here, but not there. They have this pub mix that's spicy. It's delicious. Got my husband this cherry brownie situation. Yeah, I'm glad that it's on the other side of town, or I would be so big that I could not fit in this camera. But anyway, side note, I saw, so I wanted to make sure. So that was to share that paranormal evidence was really, really fun. And then Armand shared one from the mirror room, which was, imagine like a fun house with all the mirrors, but it was in a old building that was like that, that apparently is no longer allowing people to come in. And it sounded like someone was being muffled. Like, imagine if someone was next to you, that had their face wrapped or like something over their mouth. You could hear it was wild. It was usually EVPs and things like that. You gotta really crank the audio. They're really hard to see or hard to hear, and you don't always get a great one. So I don't always share them, because if they're not crystal clear of someone saying, "Hey guys, how are you?" I tend to not share them. So that one was wild. And then he had one other one, but I can't remember. I just remember that he was he said he's a scaredy cat, Armand, and I could just hear him. I asked him if he peed himself. So that's over on their YouTube channel. And then tonight we had this. So had our Creepy Confidential After Dark. And that's where we'd go, because our usual episodes are scripted, scheduled, and this one was totally different. So I like the After Dark because then now I'm going to try and write more questions and be a little more organized, because I always forget things. So this will be a way to continue that. And actually, speaking of Cassandra, who's hearting this right now, she is part of the Horrorcraft podcast, and it is a group of gals that talk about a plethora of things, but mostly in the subject of horror movies, horror content, books, movies. I can't remember how long ago they were on, but I think it was right when that crazy hurricane came through. Because I remember we almost couldn't go live because all of our powers were going out. So that was crazy. But Cassandra and Mary got to join here it was in September. That was right when the hurricane came through, like right at the tail end of it. But they're also, if people that would like to go check that one out, I try and have a little eclectic grouping of people that are on. I like to have people that have something to do with what I do, even if it's talking about women. Something that they talked about was kind of women in the horror community, horror world, kind of like it's that. Lots talk about lots of different things. It wasn't just us talking about horror movies or paranormal or what have you. It was interesting to have a full conversation about something that was a little more social structures about what we do. So, like I said, lots of different things. But what else? I think that's it for now. We are definitely planning, our next guest is going to be Those Dweebs. It's another paranormal group. Oh, Betty, I see you. Hey, Betty. We're going to have those dweebs are booked for February. So we already are ready for our next one. We are going to be trying to book in our guests in the farther out so that we can just have them ready to go. So if that's something that I'll definitely be updating. What else can I kind of briefly mention? Next weekend, I will be skirting away out of state to a top secret project. It is podcast related, and I am very excited to join forces for something that is involving people within the GhoulieCon community. Creepy Confidential is one of the sponsors of GhouliCon. It's a podcast. I've been talking about podcasts. GhouliCon is a convention held in Kentucky, and it's mostly horror content, but there were other cryptid type people there. Strange Talk was there. Lots of interesting crafts talking about. I learned so much about the movies. It was way deeper than I thought. The horror things could get, but Creepy Confidential is one of the sponsors, so you know we're doing things, and we're going to be trying to kind of meet up with various people within there so that we can start to spread the love about other things. So I will hopefully be able to talk about that, but I'm not sure exactly when. But I just know if you guys are on here, you will see that I will be going live, hopefully on the trip while we're at the destination. And I don't have the stickers on me. So the holographic or the round Creepy Confidential 3D logo on the trip, if you find them in the United States, we're going to be driving. If you find them anywhere, gas stations, bathrooms, telephone poles, take a picture with you next to it, and you will get a goodie bag. So I know it's like a treasure hunt. That's what we want. So if you find one of our classic logo holograph stickers, it's holographic with black, or if you find the black circle stickers with the 3D, you will get a goodie bag from us. We will not tell you exactly where we are, but we will give a hint so that you can't, anywhere in the 50 states. You guys would deserve like a crazy cache of goodies. So I will give a hint as we go, but live streaming, hopefully in various spots, or at least at the destination. So that's next week. I'm hoping that Creepy Confidential really steps it up in 2025. 2024 was a fun year. I learned a lot. I got to cover a lot of subjects, and I hope that I can just walk in the door, kick the door in with my creepy self, and bring nerddom to the world. That is my goal. Because I don't think, people that, not to get too sidebar here, but I think people that maybe grew up, I didn't look like this growing up. Not to say I'm some, supermodel, but I'm cute. But didn't grow up like this, or didn't grow up around people that treated them correctly, or got bullied like myself, hands slammed in lockers. I think that it's hella important to show that we're cool. Nerds are cool. Geeks are cool. Creeps are cool. So it's very important. And I think when I meet somebody that wants to talk about aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, although I find a lot of the Bigfoot people are not very nice because they're usually a certain demographic that I don't want to talk down to, but it's usually a certain group of people that act a certain way. But that's okay, because I don't have to talk to them. So we're not in high school. So it's okay to be a nerd. It's okay to be a nerd. You can have your own library. I have a whole cache of books over here, and I think that's really important. Yeah, I guess I can talk about whatever I want. You know what? I really don't care. Betty, thank you. You're right. They are extreme, and most of the time they think they are too cool for school. They should have taken a shower 7 days ago, and they do not want to talk to you. So they're usually big, burly individuals, and which is crazy. I'm not trying to steal your Kool-Aid. I'm not trying to steal your show. They've been on TV for like 10 seconds, and they think that they are the gift to the world. So they're not. So it's fine. I'll make friends on here, and we'll bring them to the Creep Nation. That's what I'm here for. So that's my little soapbox there for 2 seconds. So what else? Books talked about. Before I leave, These are the people that we had on Creepy Confidential After Dark. Leslie and Stephen Shaw, who they are and what they're up to. You can go to creepyconfidential.com to watch the interview. I will still have it on the front page, but it'll be under the live streams, so you will absolutely be able to watch it again. It'll be going into our permanent catalog as well, so it'll be up for our live stream for like a day, and then I'll pull it and it'll go over on our catalog so you guys can watch it on the interwebs. I think that's all I have tonight. I thank you guys so much for, I have the little glasses lines. I thank you guys so much for coming and stopping in. I've had some wonderful people that have stopped in, and I thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I just saw 1.7K hearts. I've been yammering and I haven't even been paying attention to that. Oh my gosh, and the dinos. Thank you so much. They're the color of creepy. Those are the colors. Lime, black, and my little van shirt. I don't know if you guys can see this. Here's the merch. I'll show this one more time. This is available in our merch shop. This is our old school, of course with a K. It's in all kinds of sizes. I am wearing it in a 2X. I think it's a 2X. So it's like a high-low, so it's shorter in the front and longer in the back, but it's not a crop top because you gotta, cover the goodies. Very important. So that's what I have. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. And I think I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna make a cup of tea and I'm gonna go to bed. It was a great show. It was a great after show. And thank you guys. So creepyconfidential.com, you can get merch, you can watch videos, you can listen to our entire catalog, and I will keep you posted on what's coming up next here on Creepy Confidential, and I cannot wait. Bye guys.